BBC One aired a special episode of Antiques Roadshow on Sunday evening, which was first shown back in 2018 and celebrated Queen Elizabeth II and one of her favourite residences, HMS Britannia. The episode looked back at Her Majesty's reign, with guests bringing objects along which had a personal meaning to them and their experience with the Queen. One guest detailed the close friendship her mother had with Queen Elizabeth II when she was younger and gave an insight into the relationship Queen Elizabeth had with her younger sister Princess Margaret. Sitting down in the Queen's private sitting room on board the Britannia, expert Judith Miller asked the guest, "What is your connection with Her Majesty?" The guest explained, "Well, my mother was a childhood friend of the Queen's. They met in Hamilton Gardens, which were gardens behind 145 Piccadilly, where Princess Elizabeth lived at that stage. My mother was 5 years old and she was playing in the gardens and this little girl came along and asked if she would like to play with her, and that was Princess Elizabeth, unknown to my mother. She didn't have a clue who she was, she just thought she was a nice little girl to play with, and that was the beginning of a friendship that was to last for over 80 years until my mother died in 2012. The guest explained that her mother and Queen Elizabeth soon became close friends and met one another nearly every day. She had brought along with her a few Christmas tags and cards which the pair had exchanged with one another over the years, where the Queen had signed them off as her well-known nickname, Lilibet. Amazed at the thought of Queen Elizabeth as a young girl writing the tags, Judith exclaimed, "Such a normal thing, to think of Princess Elizabeth colouring in a Christmas card. You don't think about Princess Elizabeth going and speaking to other little girls." The guest agreed and added, "My mother was always meant to have been the only friend that she chose herself, because she wasn't a relation or daughter of a friend, just another little girl in the park." Judith went on to speak about the photographs the guest had brought along, to which the guest explained, "This is my mother here, with the Queen, Princess Elizabeth as she was, and Princess Margaret. These are all the toy horses which the Queen absolutely loved, they adored playing with them, and one of them, when they moved to Buckingham Palace, she was very worried about him being packed into a box. So she asked my mother if she could look after him for a few weeks, so that is what she did." Judith added, "It is really lovely to get the idea of this very normal young girl." The guest explained, "Absolutely, and they used to play French cricket and they used to skip, a lot of games related to horses. Card games if they were inside, and all sorts of normal things. She was a very normal little girl and they enjoyed playing together. I think Princess Margaret was very sweet, but very naughty compared to the Queen. She was much more sensible and always very reliable. I remember my mother saying even as a small child you could rely on her. Princess Margaret was definitely the naughty one of the two." Britannia was commissioned by Queen Elizabeth II following the death of her father in 1953. Between family vacations and official tours, Britannia logged over 1 million nautical miles, which roughly equates to one trip around the world for each of her 44 years in service. HMS Britannia was officially retired from royal service in 1997 and is now permanently berthed in Edinburgh, being converted into a museum. Antiques Roadshow airs Sunday from 7 p.m. on BBC One.